to receive a payment of $1 billion if embattled commercial lender CIT files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. At the same time, U.S. taxpayers would lose $2.3 billion. The Goldman Sachs payment stems from the structure of a rescue finance package that Goldman extended to CIT in June of 2008, about 5 months before the Treasury bought $2.3 billion in CIT preferred shares to prop it up at the height of the crisis. If CIT does file, it would be the 5th largest bankruptcy filing by assets in U.S. history. In other business news, the Inspector General who oversees the government's bailout of banking system is criticizing the Treasury Department for making misleading public statements last fall and raising the possibility that it had unfairly dispersed money to the biggest banks. A new report by Inspector General Neil Barofsky found that former Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson and other officials deliberately created the impression last year that banks receiving huge government cash infusions were healthier than was the case, but privately, officials worried about the health of several of the banks. For the first time since 1991, the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, will visit Washington this week and not meet with the president. The Obama administration reportedly pressured Tibetan representatives to postpone a meeting between the Dalai Lama and President Obama until after Obama's summit with his Chinese counterpart, Hu Jintao, scheduled for next month. The Washington Post reports the Obama administration's decision to postpone the meeting appears to be part of a strategy to improve ties with China that also includes soft-pedaling criticism of China's human rights and financial policies, as well as backing efforts to elevate China's position in international institutions such as the International Monetary Fund. A New York activist has been arrested for using the social networking site Twitter to spread information about police actions during the recent G20 protests in Pittsburgh. Elliot Madison was arrested September 24th in Pittsburgh. On Thursday, FBI agents raided his home in Queens and spent 16 hours searching it. While protesters have used text messages and Twitter to communicate before, Madison is believed to be one of the first activists to be charged criminally for sending information electronically to protesters about the police. A criminal complaint in Pennsylvania accused Madison of, quote, directing others, specifically protesters of the G20 summit, in order to avoid apprehension after a lawful order to disperse, unquote. His attorney, Martin Stoller, said, quote, he and a friend were part of a communications network among people protesting the G20. There's absolutely nothing that he's done that should subject him to any criminal liability, Stoller said. And legendary Argentine singer Mercedes Sosa has died at the age of 74. She was considered to be the voice of Latin America. In the 70s, her music inspired opponents of South America's brutal military regimes. Her remains lay in state at the National Congress, where thousands of people have lined up to pay respects to one of the region's most iconic voices. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Anjali Khanat.
Welcome, everyone.